Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Just Another 20-something with me, Marissa. Today, we are baking again. Hope you guys are pumped. Sorry that I haven't had any baking episodes. I don't know if that's even really a fan favorite, but it's a fan favorite for me, and I've missed not baking, but honestly, I just haven't had any time, which, what a fun life I live. Where I get to basically have no fun time to do the things that I want to do. But that's a story for another day. Ha ha ha. So today we are going to just be making very basic. We're going to be making some Ghirardelli double chocolate brownies. And I'm super excited because this is the only thing in my house that is sweet and that I can make. And I didn't go out of my way to find, if we had baking ingredients to make something extravagant. So we're literally just going to make a box of brownies. But you know what? They look really good. And I'm kind of in the mood for something chocolatey and nice. So we're going to make these today. So this is really easy. All you need is your pan, which I have an 8x8 metal pan. And then you need to preheat your oven to 325 and lightly grease it, which I already did. And then you literally just put in the brownie mix with some water, vegetable oil, and an egg. So that is exactly what we're going to do. So, I don't know about you guys, but I have been just having a time recently, mentally, emotionally. It's just one of them days where I'm annoyed at everything and where honestly I'm just frustrated. I'm just very frustrated with to put it bluntly, my life at the moment. I just feel very stuck in where I'm at in my life. I just feel very stuck and I feel very stagnant, and I've talked about this before on the podcast, and I know that a lot of it is obviously out of my control. We're still in a pandemic. I, don't have enough money to where I can live out on my own, but it's frustrating. I'm getting more and more annoyed as time goes on. And so here I am pouring the brownie mix into the bowl. But yeah, so today has just been really annoying, and today's my day off, so I want it to not be annoying, but it is. And I'm going to fill this cup with 1/4 cup of water. So one moment. The reason why I am so frustrated is I feel like I just don't have any alone time. I'm constantly having to report back to someone, and it's starting to get really old. I feel like I can't just be myself and be alone and not have to answer to someone, whether it's my mom or my boss or my ex-boss, which I'm please stop messaging me. Or, just something like that in general, where it's just oh my God, I cannot have a moment of peace. It is constantly, it's just getting a little draining. And so I'm kind of sad because today is supposed to be my day off. I'm supposed to just be chilling, vibing out, not trying to think about anything crazy. Hence why I'm here making some brownies. And I just have to report back to everyone, or I can't have alone time. Someone from my household will come home in the middle of the day, and then I have to be secluded in my room on my day off because we don't live in a very big house, so I'm just stuck. And it's just, if you can't already tell, it's starting to drive me crazy. And I'm now going to crack this egg. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be all complainy and annoying, but it is really starting to just get to me how much I want to be living alone or living with my friends and doing something that actually really matters to me. Not that I'm not happy with my job, but there's definitely some things that sometimes arise with my job that I'm just, I have a lot of questions, and it's also just frustrating because I'm so young, so I try not to get into my head about these things of like, how can you not be where you're at in your life already? And it's like, oh, I don't know, maybe because I'm 23 living in a pandemic? Like, that might possibly have something to do with it. But as we all know, at least you should know by now, I'm very, very hard on myself and will constantly have these expectations of myself that are way too high. And that's basically where I'm at. I'm literally at, like, how are you just, like, doing this random thing and you're not, like, living on your own, and how are you going to make it in this world? Which is stupid, and I need to stop doing that. So that is fully on me to stop doing that, but it's hard. So anyway, that led me to want to bake some brownies. And so then here we are, baking some brownies. Trying to be in a positive mood by eating some chocolate. I don't know. I want to talk about this more in depth in a different episode. I kind of want to keep today's episode light and airy, even though I obviously just started off rambling and ranting away. But I'm trying to get my mind off of it. So if I keep talking about it, I think I'm going to get more and more frustrated. So that'll be for another episode. That'll be for an episode where I've calmed down a little bit and I can really, like, look at it from an outsider's perspective and be like, okay, you were being a little crazy pants and you need to take a deep breath. So I'm going to wait for myself to get to that point. Right now, she's not at that point. Right now, she's at the point where she wants to bake some brownies in peace and answer some fun and light questions. Because, again, we haven't done a Bake With Me in a hot minute. And I think that there is plenty more questions that I can answer so you guys can get to know me even better. And I'm excited for that. So, that's what today's episode is going to be about. And look at that. See, a thing that I love about boxed brownies, I'm already done mixing everything together. So I mixed 1/4 cup of water, 1/3 cup of vegetable oil, and 1 egg, and we're done. So now I'm going to spread it in the pan that I already greased, and then we can literally start baking, which is amazing. This brownie batter is thicky, by the way, and I'm so excited. Oh, I'm so excited. I needed this. I needed this, guys. I'm so glad we had this random box of brownie mix in our pantry because I don't know what I would have done today. Ooh, this boy is really thick. Again, I'm here for it, but god damn. Oh, speaking of, though, I'm going to bring it right back to what I said I was going to stop talking about. Speaking of feeling very weird, we did just have a Scorpio full moon, and let me just say, I don't know about y'all, but I felt it so hard. So hard to the fact that I messaged Sarah, my astrological queen, and I told her, I was like, you're going to need to tell me what the hell is wrong with me right now, because this is getting a little out of hand. And she did. She told me all the things. Basically, I'm having some problems, like, you know, in relationships right now, both like romantically and friendship, whether it's because, you know, like I can't really see anyone or meet anyone, you know, stuff like that, which has been very, very true in my life right now. If you know me personally, you know that I downloaded all the apps again. Isn't that ironic, Marissa, how I think it was 2 episodes ago, I was preaching about how I don't like the apps. Well, I still don't, but your bitch got lonely, so here we are. Again, hasn't actually been working out. I don't use it because I don't like it. And so I guess I needed the full moon to tell me that. They really solidified that now is not a good time for me romantically. So cool. It's really funny though, because I was talking to my mom, like, because let's see, the full moon I think was on Monday. Why did I almost say Wednesday? Monday, and I felt terrible on Monday. Like, seriously, so sad, because I was just like, again, like, what is this life that I'm living? I don't know. I'm not happy with it. And it definitely had to do with, like, friends and with job and, you know, everything that my life is, you know, revolving around right now. And the thing about my friends, it's not that I'm, like, mad or annoyed at any of the friends that I have. I love all my friends. It's truly, like, because I don't get to see them, I don't get to hang out with them. I feel like I don't have this social life that I am very much used to. I'm very much a social person. I have social things going on almost all the time. And I don't want to make it be like, haha, I'm like so popular, because it's not that. It's truly just, that is how I thrive. I thrive with having these interactions with people. And so when I don't, then she's not thriving. She's not thriving at all. And I just haven't had those opportunities. And again, a lot of it is out of my control because of the pandemic that we're in. I don't really want to put people at risk just so I can hang out with people, so I'm not sad. But guess what? I still am. So yeah, it was just funny that I was telling my mom that, and then I'm talking to Sarah about, like, what the fuck is going on with me, and she's like, yeah, actually, there's a lot of shit in the planets right now that's affecting you, and it's for these exact reasons that you already were talking about. And I was like, cool. So I'm literally psychic, and this is what this is. But that definitely brought me to be like, oh, we should do another episode kind of all about that. So I think we're going to do, like, a monthly update, like, on what's going on in my life. And we're going to do an episode about it. So I'll get excited for that. All right. But now these beautiful little brownies are in their pan, and I am going to bake them. And so for my pan size, since it's metal, it only needs to bake for 39 to 43 minutes. So we're going to start with 39 and see how we go. All right, little beans. Okay. Now, let's get into some fun questions. All right, so earlier today, I was looking up a ton of questions on Pinterest because those are my favorite little things to have, like, little question and answer things on, because they just have so many different random templates. So I kind of pulled off a bunch. I pulled up some ones. I pulled up some ones that are for couples, but, like, some of the questions I feel like don't have to be for couples. And I kind of feel like, since I already kind of talked about, like, how I'm struggling with relationships or whatever, and I don't know why, but brownies always remind me of Valentine's Day. That doesn't even make any sense, but it does in my brain. So I was kind of thinking we could make this kind of a coupley or relationship-y vibe of an episode. I don't know. Honestly, this episode's probably just all over the place, but you know what? That's pretty much my brand, so we're going to go with it. So I have this template that says 31 this or that questions for couples. And as I've mentioned, I am single and ready to mingle. So let's answer a few of these and just see what my stance is, because I think a lot of people have different preferences when it comes to dating and, like, red flags and stuff like that. So I thought that would be fun to talk about. So we have this first one. Would you hold hands in public or put your arm around my shoulder in public? Which, this is such a stupid question, but I'm going to answer it as, like, what I would rather have. And in a couple, I'm going to be real. I'm not super PDA-y. And when I say that, I mostly mean, like, I just don't want to make out with you where people can watch us making out. Or if we're in a group of people and we're talking to groups of people and you want to make out with me, I just, no. Like, no, that's kind of weird. But, like, if we're touching, that's fine. So I actually prefer holding hands over putting your arm around me. I don't know why. I don't know why, but I kind of actually hate it when someone puts their arm around me. The only way I would like it is if they're significantly bigger than me. And this is my stance on this. I have had, in the past, some guys put their arm around me. And this is me truly putting them on blast. But, like, sometimes they're not the tallest or the biggest. And so when they put their arm around me, I almost feel bigger than them. Like, I feel like it's really awkward. And it doesn't look as good as they probably think it looks. And so I'm like, ew, I'm like this huge person next to this guy. And I like, I don't know if that makes any sense. So if you're going to put your arm around me, you have to be like this huge person in comparison to where I'm like, oh, look, I'm just this tiny little person and they can just put their arm around my entire body, which is stupid. But that's my stance on it. So I would stick with holding hands because I love holding hands. Very cute, very underrated. All right, would you hang out with your friends or stay alone with me on the weekend? Ooh, okay, this is a good question. Just because I have stances on both accounts. I think, one, if you're dating someone and you're in like you're in a relationship, like committed, serious relationship, I think it is very, very appropriate to also still have time with your friends and have time with your friends without the boyfriend or girlfriend also being there. So, like, you should have weekends where you just hang out with your boys or just hang out with your girls, and the significant other is not included at all. That should happen. I also feel like you can hang out with your friends and have the significant other there. It could be a huge group thing. And then I feel like you should obviously have some time where you're just alone with them. I think you should do it all. So I think that question is just like, it's trying to be like, oh, like, you should really only stay with me because we're dating. It's like, no, that's just really not healthy. And it's even after a while, like, let's say you either only hang out with them or you hang out in a huge group and they're still there. Even that can start to borderline on unhealthy, just for the sense of like, it seems like you guys can never be apart. So it is very, very good to have your times with your girls or with your boys just completely alone because you are your own person and you need to remember that. So that's my stance on that question. Okay, would you make me sad by winning an argument since you are right, or lose an argument to make me happy? What the hell does that mean? Would you make me sad by winning an argument since you were right, or lose an argument? Oh, ew, wait, I don't like that question. Okay, this is stupid. It's basically saying, like, would you risk the chance of making me sad even though you're right, or would you lose an argument so then I would be happy? That doesn't make any sense to me. If I'm right in an argument, I'm going to prove that I'm right. Like, sorry. I'm not going to lose. It would have to depend on the argument, obviously. If this is an argument that is really serious and you're like, no, I'm not going to back down, then of course, like, stand your ground, whatever. If it's an argument, like, so stupid that you're like, you know what, sure, you're right, totally, then, I guess it'd have to be that. But it would have to be something really stupid. And at that point, I wouldn't even say it's an argument. I would mostly say it's like a little tiff. That's weird. Some of these questions, makes me not want to be in a relationship. Okay. Oh my gosh. This one says, would you have a poor partner who is witty or a partner who with lots of money but doesn't have a sense of humor? All right, define poor. Kidding. But now that I am getting older, it would be nice for my partner to have some stability, just so we could both be stable together, you know? But in the grand scheme of things, I would obviously pick a partner who is witty over a partner who has money, because I know for a damn fact, knowing myself, I would not be able to stay with someone if I just can't have a conversation with them, regardless of money. It would be so hard. I'd literally rather be alone. So I'm going to have to go with a poor partner who is witty. But I'm going to be real. You can't be that poor. We're not going that poor. Oh, should you declare in public that you love me or convey that you love me in private? Okay, this is a hot take. I mean, not really, but sort of. This reminds me a lot of public engagements and people's thoughts on public engagements. I hate that. Do not propose to me in a crowded public place. That's not going to go well for you, dude. Even if I know I'm going to say yes, I probably will say no to you just so you're embarrassed and you'll know not to do that to me again. Because it's not going to fly. I don't want attention on me. I think it's also just like, it's kind of manipulative in a way where, let's say it's a relationship where you don't know if they're going to say yes or no, or if it's like, you know, whatever. It's very manipulative to put someone in that situation where you're like, okay, you kind of have to say yes to me because guess what? Everyone around us is watching. And if you don't, you're going to look like an asshole and whatever. And I think that's gross. I'd way rather you declare that you love me in private. I think it's more meaningful that way. Because then it also shows like you're truly just telling me that like you love me, you want to be with me. Where in public, it seems like you kind of more want that status. And you could be like, look, like, I love this person. I'm proposing to them in front of everyone. And I just don't like that. I don't like that. And I don't think that's too much of a hot take because I know for a fact most of my friends will probably agree with me on this one. It's either we're totally, like, just way out there and everyone else loves that, but I doubt it. So that is my take. Ooh, okay. Would you spend your special occasions with the entire family or with just me? That is an interesting question. I guess it would have to depend on the special occasion. Ooh, this is hard. Okay, let's say the special occasion is like you got promoted or something, or you got like your dream job. I would say that's kind of a situation where you could probably do 2 celebrations. Like, I would want to probably have like an intimate celebration with my partner, but then like the next day or like, you know, sometime after that, we could like get together with the whole family and celebrate. Because I would obviously want to tell my mom like, yo, got that job. Let's go out to dinner. So I think with that, you could kind of do both. Yeah, and honestly, I would probably do that with every special occasion. I would just be like one with us and then one with the entire family. Because I think that's also a thing that kind of goes along with like, you know, you need to be your own person and you need to spend time like with your friends. But if we're talking about like just your family and then just you and your partner, that's also kind of a situation where it's like you need to be alone with your partner without the family around, because if that's the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, supposedly that's going to be your new family. And so you do need to spend some time, just the 2 of you guys. But don't leave your family out unless your family sucks. Because they are still family at the end of the day, unless they suck. If they suck, you can ditch them really hard, actually. So that's my stance on that one. Wait, this one's so stupid. Would you enjoy the present with me and stay young, or experience the future but grow old? What? Isn't that the whole point of being in a relationship, is that you enjoy the present and also grow old together? Wait, what? Okay. This couples thing is weird. So there's that question. And then right underneath it, it says, would you travel on a plane with frogs or bus with snakes? What? I would have to say I would travel with frogs on a plane. That is so stupid. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. Would you rather be embarrassed in front of your in-laws or in front of your parents? I'd way rather be embarrassed in front of my parents. For sure. Because if it's my in-laws, I'm going to think like, oh, they probably hate me. This is terrible. They hate me. And I don't love that feeling. So would not want to do that one. Oh, this is interesting. Would you rather have an ambitious partner or hilarious partner? Because I'm going to be real. Those are probably my top two traits that I look for in a person, is someone who is ambitious and is like basically like has goals and has dreams for themselves and like pushes themselves to be the best version of themselves, you know, whatever. But like I just said, I also really enjoy someone who has a sense of humor, basically who has a personality. No offense, because I'm gonna be real, I've met a lot of people who I cannot carry on a conversation with. It's so painfully hard to talk to them, and I'm like, how have you dated multiple people? Like, that's so mean, but I'm truly like, I have no idea what to say to you. Like, you're cute, but like, huh? So that's hard. Would I rather have ambition or funniness? Oh no. That's really hard. I think I'm gonna have to pick ambition, which I didn't think I was gonna choose. That was really back and forth right there. The reason why I'm picking ambition though is because I'm thinking, this is so terrible, but I'm thinking of like, let's say I chose the funny version and they had no goals, they would start to not be funny anymore. You know, like I would start to resent them because they wouldn't be doing anything with their life. And it's like, oh, great, you're super funny, but you're like sitting at home doing nothing. Like, so glad you can crack a joke, but this isn't funny anymore. To where maybe, you know, maybe the ambitious person can like learn some jokes along the way. Also worried about the ambitious person though. What if they're so ambitious that they don't want to be with you anymore? Which is terrible, but you never know. All right, let's see. Oh, would you rather report the wrongdoings of your partner with your family or your friends? Oh, that is actually such a good question. So, I am the designated person that my friends do not like to talk about their significant others with. That's like semi-true, but it's pretty true. Just because I am very honest. And I'm very blunt to the fact that if they do something wrong, I will tell you that I don't like it and that you should probably dump them. And it's not for the sense of just like they did something kind of minor and I'm like, oh, you should dump them. It's truly a lot of my friends will accept the bare minimum. And I'm like, girly, no. Like, if he can't even do that, there's so many other things that he's not going to do, so we should end it. That's kind of my stance. And like I said, so I'm very vocal about it. I do not stray away from telling you that this is a red flag. So if I'm thinking, if my friends do the same thing to me, I think I would rather tell my friends than my family, the wrongdoings, because I want that person to tell me, like, right away, this ain't working out. To where if I tell my family this, I don't think they would get it, or they would, like, it would just get really, really complicated. I think the only time I would tell my family is obviously if it's a huge wrongdoing and, like, we're breaking up or getting divorced or whatever. Obviously, I'll tell them that. But if it's, like, little things that I just need some advice on, I'm just going to go to my friends, because I'd rather have my friends have, like, they could be like, ooh, I didn't love that, but we can move on, we can forgive, where I feel like my family would more be like, remember that thing that they did 20 years ago and I still hate it? Even though that is me, I would do that. But I think I would rather tell my friends. And yeah, my friends would also just be like, they would be more chill about it. I don't know. I'd rather just tell them what's going on. Oh, God. Would you rather have a clean partner? Wait. Would you rather have a clean partner and freak, or a partner who is dirty and lazy? What does that mean? Clean partner and freak? So they're just a freak? Or a partner who's dirty and lazy? I mean, I'm going to have to go with the clean freak. Because duh. This is interesting. Would you be with a person who is obsessed with an old fashion, or someone who does not know anything about fashion? Well, let me just tell you. Most men do not have a fashion sense. So most men that I have been with know nothing about fashion. So that's not so much of a deal breaker for me at this point. If I could choose between them having a fashion sense and them not, obviously I would choose the fashion sense. But they're saying an old fashion sense, which I'm assuming is something weirder. Like maybe they're into vintage clothing. And I just can't imagine like cute men's vintage clothing. I don't know. That one's hard. I'll probably just go with the no fashion sense, because again, most of the people that I've been with don't. So there we go. And when I say no fashion sense, I'm thinking just like a sweatshirt and jeans, because in my opinion, that's just, you're really not trying that hard. If it's anything less than that, I don't know. Like if it's like, if they're wearing those basketball shorts all the time, I don't think I can do that. I don't think we can date. I'm sorry. Okay. Most of these questions are stupid, but here's this last one. Would you like to be in a relationship with someone who never hugs you, or someone who never argues? Okay, that's interesting. Someone who never hugs you, or someone who never argues. Wait, wouldn't you? Actually, no, that is hard. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, of course I would want to be with someone who doesn't want to argue with me. But I do think, I mean, I guess technically having deep, differing conversations doesn't have to be an argument. So I'm going to pick someone who never argues with me, because maybe it'll just be like those stupid people who just always have to be right. Like, I can easily deal with not having to deal with that ever again. So that would be fine. And I definitely will need someone to hug me, because I like hugs. That'd be kind of a lonely relationship to just never hug them. So I think I'm going to go with that. Okay, so here's another one about relationship questions. So this one says, what are some annoying habits of other couples that irritate you the most? Girl, let me tell ya. Okay, things that couples do that annoy me the most. I mean, first I kind of already said it, is if you spend like every waking moment together. That bothers me. That's just not something I would want to do personally. Again, I just feel like I need my own space at times. Another thing that couples do that irritate me Oh, gosh. It could be so many things. I mean, definitely the intense PDA. But again, that's really strictly making out. If you guys are hugging or if you guys hold hands, that's like literally fine. I think it's honestly just kissing in general. Because sometimes even like going in for like a peck can turn into like more than just a peck. And then I'm like, ugh, like, no, like stop doing that. Like just peck and move on. Because that's fine. Pecking is fine. But if you're like looking longingly into each other's eyes and then I'm just there, like I don't need to be there. I can leave at any moment. So that's annoying. Let's see. What other things do couples do that annoy me? There's actually not a ton of things. Because I'm thinking of like my friends who are in couples and I actually really like them. So, and I can hang out with them and everything's fine. So, I don't know. I can't even actually think of other ones. Oh, well, I mean, this is kind of obvious, but I don't really like when couples put you in the middle. Like, if they are having an argument and they're like, hey, Marissa, what do you think? Like, whose side are you on? Don't do that to me. See you later. Like, I don't need to be a part of your weird fight that you're having. No, thank you. Also, just don't fight in front of me. Save it for another time when you guys are alone. I think that's also a huge thing. I have dealt with that with multiple couples of multiple ages where it's like, I don't want to be witnessing this. One, it's uncomfortable. I don't want to be around someone who's arguing, whether you're in a relationship or friends or whatever. I don't want to be involved. And yeah, putting someone in the middle of that is awkward and weird, and I don't like it. I don't like that at all. Oh, and I guess, okay, last thing that couples do is if they're very, very bad about including you, like it's so obvious that you're the third wheel, I don't like that. Like, please, let's just hang out like we're three friends having a grand time, because I don't want it to feel like, yeah, they're totally in a couple and I'm just here. Because that's obviously not as much fun anymore. All right, let's see. Ooh, what is a relationship deal breaker for you? Okay. Yeah, see, I feel like I have a lot of deal breakers. A huge deal breaker for me is definitely not being an open person. Like if you're homophobic or if you're racist or misogynistic, you're out. You're super out. I mean, obviously though, I wouldn't even be friends with those kinds of people. So, duh. Another huge deal breaker is if they always have to be right. That really bothers me. Because after a while, it's like, dude, we're talking about, like, I don't know. We're talking about how my favorite color is green. How are you going to step in and be like, actually? Like, no, that's not happening. Another deal breaker. Oh, if they're really competitive. And let me break this down for you, because I have had crushes on like guys who are like super sporty, and then some crushes who are not sporty at all. And I don't really mean it in a sense like if they're playing a game, except maybe. I don't know. I don't like people who have to be so competitive. They have to win. If they don't win, they have this huge like pity party weirdness. And that's not fun. And it's weird. And you can truly be competitive about anything, not even just a game, like sports related or whatever, board game. I don't care. Like, I think it has to go with always being right, because basically you always need to win. You either need to win or you need to be right, and I don't like those people. I think they're very annoying and very stupid. Yeah, I would probably say those are like my big major deal breakers. Everything else, I mean, I don't know. I could probably name a ton of things, but I'm not going to make this like a man-hating episode. We'll have a separate episode for that. Okay, oh, would you rather me cook you breakfast in bed or a candlelit dinner? I would probably have to say a candlelit dinner, just because I'm kind of gross in the morning. All right, sorry, brief intermission because my mom called. Which one was I talking about? Unless I already ended. I don't know. Oh, right. The breakfast in bed or the candlelit dinner. I think I would rather have a candlelit dinner because I think it's more romantic. And like I said, I'm kind of gross in the morning. And I don't really like eating breakfast in bed. I'm very messy, so that would not go very well. And like I said, I would rather have a candlelit dinner. I could like wear a cute little dress, be all fancy and cute. I think I just like that one better. Oh, what would you define as cheating? Great question. I define a lot of things as cheating. No, okay. No, but I definitely think if you're talking to another girl, it's cheating. And when I say that, or I guess talking to another person who's not your significant other, when I say that, I mean, like, obviously if it's a friend, it's fine, but it has to be like, you know that this person's a friend and you're not pretending that they're a friend. But like, I think if you're emotionally talking to someone, I consider that cheating. And I have, here's a little tea spillage. I have been one of those girls on the receiving end of someone who was talking to me, like they were in a relationship and they were talking to me, and all we did was talk, all we did was text, and looking back on it, I'm definitely like, yeah, that was like major cheating, especially the things that we talked about. So yeah, I super would consider that cheating because I know, like now, if I was that girl, I would be heartbroken to know that and feel like so terrible and whatever. I have no idea if she even knows about it. We're not going to get into it. But let's just say I have been there. That was obviously a bad move on my part. And I would consider that cheating for sure. Because I don't think that's very nice. If it's something that you have to hide from the person that you're with, then it's cheating. There you go. If you're hiding it, it's cheating. And then, yeah, obviously, like, kissing another person or sleeping with another person, obviously cheating. That's, like, a really obvious one. Sending pictures, I would say, is also cheating. Yeah. I would almost, maybe this is a little controversial. I guess it depends. But I would almost even say, oh, I don't know, this might be controversial. I would almost go as far as being like flirting. And this is what I mean. Because I think that you could be in a relationship and innocently flirt with someone else and it could be totally fine. But if you're flirting with that person with the intention of flirting with them and you're thinking about them and you even start to like hang out with them, you know what I mean? I don't think that's good. I guess I wouldn't say it's cheating, but you're definitely on like the borderline of like, hey, what are you doing? Because that's not good. That's not a good thing to be doing. And I've also been on the receiving end of that, so thanks. Thanks for asking, haha. But I would say that's really not good either, because again, clearly, like, would you tell your significant other that you're doing that? Probably not. So if you wouldn't want your significant other to know of things that you're doing, it's not good. Probably cheating. Okay, Oh, this is a good one. Would you compromise your happiness for the success of the relationship? Boom. I'm going to give my hot take on this. I don't think any relationship is worth it if you were compromising your own goals and your own happiness to stay in that relationship. There it is. And this is why I'm saying that. I have seen a lot of older relationships in my life where they have done that, where they have sacrificed things for the relationship. And I'm not saying that you can't do that, because obviously there's going to be sacrifices on both ends in every relationship, and, that's not crazy. But I've seen, like, big sacrifices where, again, they're choosing to not do something that would be very beneficial to them and in their life, and it has turned out very not good. Very bad, in fact, where they are resentful of that person. And I don't think that it's worth it to put your own needs aside if you know that you are going to probably regret making that decision down the road. And like I have a couple in mind where I know that one of their dreams is being squandered to uplift the other person's dreams. And I don't think you should do that, at least not as a 20-something. When you're young, you should truly, truly, truly focus on yourself and your dreams, because this is the only life you're going to live. And are you really going to say, oh yeah, I had the opportunity to do something that I really wanted, but I didn't because I did it for my other 20-something-year-old partner. Like, ooh, yay. Fun. The only way I would see that really playing out is if they also sacrifice something for you. If you guys are both sacrificing something to help the other person, then I can get on board with that. I can see that. But the situations that I have seen, it is truly just one person sacrificing for the other person taking that and moving forward and not giving anything back in return. And I think that's bad. And I think you're going to super resent that person. So I don't think you should compromise your own happiness just for a relationship. I think, in my opinion, that's just not a good idea. Oh, and there's the bell. Let's see if these brownies are ready. All right, guys. The brownies are done. They're out of the oven and they are looking scrumptious. Now, unfortunately, I have to wait for them to cool. So it's going to be a hot minute before I can tell you how amazing they were. And, I don't know if I will tell you how amazing they were. Only because, sorry, we all know how brownies taste. These are not special brownies. They're really not special brownies. They're really just a box of brownies. They taste good. I know they're going to be chocolatey and moist and amazing. So you're not going to get a taste test reaction. I'm sorry. I apologize. But I think you'll be okay. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know I've been a little angry in this episode. I didn't mean to be. I'm sorry. There's just obviously a lot on my mind and a lot going on in my life. And so I've just been a little frustrated. Again, I'll talk about it in another episode. I wanted to make this a little bit lighter. I thought it was kind of fun to talk about like some relationship questions. I have never answered any relationship questions on here. And especially since right now the stars are telling me that I should not be dating anyone right now. I guess the only way I can really get it out is to just talk about things about relationships that bother me. It's basically what I've talked about this episode. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope it made you laugh. I hope you learned some things about relationships. Because clearly I'm the expert as I'm single. But it's fine. Yeah. So that's today's episode. I will talk to you all next week with a deep sit down talking episode. Get ready for it. And I'll talk to you then. Bye.